Today we're going to talk about jobs, but we first like to thank you for signing on and watching our programs. We hope that you will continually subscribe as well as to share the information with others. We want to talk about jobs. In North Charleston, it's been said that there are going to be additional 1,500 jobs that will be coming to North Charleston, connected with feeder plants and the Boeing site. Certainly we are happy that Boeing is here and that they're bringing additional jobs to the area. Of course, we want them to be good corporate citizens. We want to make sure that all companies that are in North Charleston, not only do they profit and that they prosper, but that the community prospers with them. One of the things that we want to make sure happens is that there's greater parity in the hiring. The study that was done by North Charleston, dealing with the North Charleston Fire Department, said that there should be greater parity within the city. And certainly if there's greater parity within the city, we would like to see the very same thing in companies that come here, particularly when they get major tax breaks. Those companies should continually be good corporate citizens, and when it comes to taking a look at the community as well as the hiring practices.
It is unfortunate, John, that all too often when we make these, especially in right to work state, when these companies come inside here, but rightfully so, the companies they're attracted by the low taxes and also probably the low wages. However, when they don't meet up to their expectation, example, Nucor Steel. When Nucor Steel came here, they had tax-free for I don't know how many years. It was a tax break that they got by coming here to say, hey, you're going to reduce prices on, reduce on taxes and reduce on even electric costs. However, you got to hire a proportional amount of employees according to the demographics. Nucor never did that. And the problem is with that is that there is no elected official that enforce that. So the rules are being made, but they're not being enforced. Now, I don't know the deal that Boeing came under. I don't know that. Maybe you do, John. I don't.
No one knows, because if you remember, initially they said that they would not release the contents of the contract with Boeing. Later, of course,
you talking about our transparent mayor, Keith Bossall-Semi?
Well, he said that they would not make it known. Later we find out that there's a $90 million tax break, which it's not a problem as long as if they are going to prosper, the whole community prospers as well.
Right.
Unlike, for instance, with Nucor in Hughie, there were jobs that were received by some of the local community, but absolutely none within the management field. In Boeing, there's very few.
Very few.
African Americans that are hired.
The higher you get up,
management.
The higher you move up the chance that you see. Right. Percentages go down.
Right, even though we are the majority of the population here. And that is just dead wrong. Because that spills over into other things. When you consider, I guess, further down Dorchester Road, one of the things that happened that I thought was so wrong was that when they came, they purchased a piece of property where a trail mower was. There were some homes there, mobile homes that had been there for years. And one of the gentlemen who was living there, he purchased another piece of property. And if you take a look at the North Charleston Council meeting, you'll see where even though there were other trailers that were close to that property, he wanted to move his double wide trailer there on the property, which looked nice, and he wanted to brick around it. And the city decided that they were not going to let him do it. So here you have a company coming in, they're displacing an entire community, and then the city makes no provisions to help them relocate. So here Boeing comes in, they displaces the entire community. So what happens with him in moving his household? He's stuck now in a vexing situation that he just has to simply leave it because he has nowhere to put it. Those are the kinds of issues, and when we can do that to one individual, on his home, then we can do it to other individuals. Does that spill over into Glen Terrace? Does it spill over into Everston Estate? Does it spill over into Covington Hills and further down Dorchester Road, where they simply come in and alter the permanent lifestyle of residents? When we look at traditionally a Boeing site and we look at the footprint that they put down in a city, the number of acres that they need in close proximity, and then we take a look at what they presently have in North Charleston and what they project it to be, there has to be some more displacement. But now, is it going to be done fairly? That becomes the issue. If they're going to come here, they need to be good corporate citizens, and they need to work with the people and not against the people.
Exactly. I mean, the good corporate citizens, and what we want is that we want parity. We want fairness where jobs are concerned, and there are too many in this area here. The black unemployment is high. Now, we put out a video a few days ago about entitled being pro-black does not mean I'm anti-white. But there is an issue in the black community, not just in South Carolina, but in Georgia, in Virginia, in Baltimore, Maryland. So there's a job issue. So what we want is that we creating fairness. Some of the people think about spreading the wealth. Well, it's not trying to give away money to anybody. We want to give opportunities, make opportunities fair. Absolutely. According to the Constitution, that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But how can I pursue happiness when you're not even giving me an opportunity to pursue even the job? Or I can pursue the job, but when you're talking about...
Maybe they're just saying you ought to be happy just because we let you live.
You got a point there, yeah. And even though you have to even pay to live there too, So I think that what we have to do is that we have to hold our elected officials accountable when they making these contracts with these companies to bring in jobs. Let it be fair, let it be just for everyone, because when we all have those opportunities, actually it helps the whole country. The whole country benefits by having a lower real unemployment rate when that is lower right now. And it's not sustainable. These people that they just the other day that we're seeing more and more killings that are going on in Baltimore, Maryland, where the mayor is asking for the people to reduce the violence. But as Michelle Alexander said, that is a reason why it is violent because of job opportunities. So, and we know that there's a reason why they don't want certain communities to have those jobs.
Right. The joblessness that exists in primarily African American communities, particularly when there is regimenting where you have an informal process that allows a disproportionate amount of one race to be hired through nepotism, through relationships, simply because they are already, from an unjust system, in the position to be hired, and the bulk of the hiring contacts come from people who are already hired. That's a regimenting process that forecloses opportunity of fairness. And as a result, discrimination goes along with that, because just in the practice of hiring, there's a disparity that exists that is unfair. And so what we don't want to do with the additional jobs that come to North Charleston is that regimenting is done and that the jobless rate of the African Americans continually climb as the other segments of the population decline, leaving high crime, because joblessness doesn't excuse, but it helps to, and it leads to high crime rates. And that in our community is a menace. When you have people who have opportunity, they've got the position of being fair. And what they end up doing is they completely throw away any moral factors that exist with the decision-making process in terms of doing what is right, then you have left a greedy menace to society, because they don't do things based on what is just and what is fair. They simply do things based on greed, and greed of money and the protection of people that are closest to them. That's simply not right. That's not fair, and that's not what we want for North Charleston.
One of the things that the show, The Naked Truth, we want to give you the truth. Not our truth, not your truth, but the truth. There's only one truth. And so we encourage you, just as we do our homework, do your own homework. Look it up. And one thing about the World Wide Web, hey, it's open for everyone to see. And with these elected officials that are making these deals, these backdoor deals for companies coming, yeah, jobs are good. The jobs are they would be good, but are they good for everybody? And we see here in this country, not just in South Carolina, not just in North Charleston, but it is not fair by and large to all people. Well, I think our time is up, John.
Only one thing, and that is you can also hear us on digital radio with Ramsey Lewis at Kinetic Hi-Fi. And so go there. We're discussing even other issues, and it's myself, Ramon Roan, and Larry Singletary, along with Ramsey Lewis.
And the title of the show is?
The title of the show is The Naked Truth. This has been another edition of The Naked Truth, and we'll see you next time.